You are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So, the misso's back. That was a fun little experiment. We don't need to repeat that anytime soon. It was nice to know I can batten down the hatches if need be for a few days, but it's nice to have returned back to normal programming. That definitely felt like a lot longer than 9 days. That's for fucking sure. I reckon I had another 5 days in me before things started slipping like out of control. The thing is, I put shit off until it becomes an emergency. Like, oh fuck, the kids don't have any clothes to wear, I better do the washing. And then it will just so happen to be a rainy day that day. So it ends up being something like, all right, let's go down to Kmart. We need to buy some new clothes. Shit like that. Or, what's for dinner? Open the fridge. Nothing in there. All right, emergency. That's the way I operate with everything, which is not a good way to operate, but I'm trying to get better at it. It's just nice to have the backbone of the organization back where she belongs. The first thing she did when she got back was open the suitcase, and it was just filled with like fucking Indian goodies. So she went to the fridge to put the Indian shit in there, and she's like, don't tell me it's still in here. Oh my God, it's still in here. I'm like, what? And she's like, the fucking galop bleu that I made before I left. I asked you to throw it away. And I'm like, fuck, I never got around to throwing that thing away. I'm like, oh, it must have been hidden or something because I thought I threw it away. And it wasn't hidden. It was like front and center. So I never managed to do that. After 9 days, I never actually managed to throw that thing out. That's what I mean. Shit like that will just pile up on me. I think I had like 5 days left. After 2 full weeks, it would have started to get fucking real shaky. Like my daughter would be wearing my son's clothes. My son would be wearing my clothes. I would be wearing my wife's. Like it will get chaos after 2 weeks. But now she's back and she's got jet lag. So that isn't helpful at the moment. But give her a day or a couple of hours and then I'll just drift off into the background where I belong, just pulling the strings, watching YouTube fucking videos about the nomad capitalists and new passports and where you should live, just thinking about the future. That's how we divide it. My wife takes care of everything in the present and I work on the future. And the future, it's a very complicated thing to take care of. Like, you've got to think about everything. You've got to think about where you want to be living. You've got to take into account World War III. You've got to take into account Australia's isolation and what's going to happen with that, the immigration policies in all the different countries, the tax in different nations, racism in different countries. It's a lot. There's a lot going on for the future planning. And this morning, it could have fucking all ended this morning, to be honest with you. If my wife wasn't coming back today, it could have got rough because I just needed like 10 more minutes sleep. I just could barely open my fucking eyes and my daughter came in and she's like, Dada, can you make me some Weet-Bix? Like some breakfast. And I'm like, can you just give me like 5 minutes? She's like, okay. And then she came back in 5 minutes and she came up and snuggled up with me. And she's like, Dada, can you make me some Weet-Bix? I'm like, I will soon. Can you just give me like 5 minutes? And then, I just hear, she just started weeping. Like the saddest weep you've ever heard in your entire life. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, you can't cry like that for this. It was pure manipulation, just running rings around me. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I made her some breakfast and I just went back to bed. And just as I'm about to fucking go back into sleep, she comes in and she starts talking. And she's like, Dada, can I go play with the girl down the street? And I'm like, not now. We got to go pick up Mama. You can play later. She's like, but I want to now. And I'm like, that's too bad. We're going to pick up Mama and they're not even home. And she's like, but Dada, I want to. And I'm like, well, you can't. And then she goes, Dada, but if I love you, then I won't love you. If I love you, then I won't love you. She was saying, I love you, but if you don't let me, I'm not going to love you anymore. She's fucking 3. If I love you, then I won't love you. It was ice cold. It was like, let me go play with my little friend next door. Otherwise, you know this father-daughter relationship we got going on here? Yeah, it's over. Jesus Christ, what happens in 10 years when she's like 13 and the hormones are kicking in and she fucking hates me? Boys are so much less complex than girls. It's just night and day. Anyway, we're going out to dinner. My wife can't be fucked cooking an Indian feed tonight. I have nothing organised, obviously, so we're going out to dinner. So that'll do for today, and I'll see ya the fuck later.